All right, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Miles here from Gold&Steel. Today we're talking about men's obsession with cool jackets. Now, I would put myself in the category of a man who is obsessed with cool jackets. Right now, I think I am wearing a pretty cool jacket, which is a good segue to our fit check and wrist check today. Right now, I am wearing a vintage Ralph Lauren trench coat or wool trench coat. It's a fairly long coat. I got it at this antique mall in downtown Sherman, which is pretty dope. Bought it for like $80, not bad. We're also fully blacked out today because I got a lot of jackets to put on in this video, and I don't feel like I don't have the time or the patience to mess around and put on 17 different outfits. So we're just black polo, black jeans, brown belt, brown boots. Very simple today. Today we also got on Squale, Super Squale today. Nothing crazy, just nice little daily beater watch. Same jewelry as always. Pinky ring, James Avery. This is from some random site on Instagram. Chain and pendant, James Avery, as always. All right, so men's obsession with cool jackets, at least in my opinion, stems from movies. Classic movies like James Bond, Blade Runner. There are. Really any action movie with the main character usually wearing some type of very cool jacket. Fight Club, all that. So I think where men kind of have this, fantasy of just having just the one, that cool jacket, does stem from most entertainment, in particular movies and TV shows, right? Uh, the types of jackets that we are going to be discussing today, though, are going to be, work jackets, casual jackets, trench coats slash formal jackets. So that's kind of what we're going to be getting into today. And I guess to, start us off, we're going to go with the work jacket. All right, so the work jacket has been a staple in men's fashion since, you can take it all the way back to, 40s if you really wanted to. The work jacket, it is, I, I don't know. I have weird mixed feelings about work jackets in general because I do own a couple and I do love to wear them. But I do kind of find a little bit of conflict with them in terms of my line of work. I'm a banker, so having a durable Carhartt doesn't really make sense. But when I was working construction and working at a shop and a dealership, it made sense to have one. Um, so I do understand why men like them. Me myself, like I said, I own a couple, so I do enjoy a good work jacket. But besides that, I think the reason why men love work jackets so much is because of, things like that, like durability. These jackets, you can beat them up, wear them for, 10, 15 years, and it might not look brand new, but it'll still wear like it's brand new, which is, I think it's definitely a thing that I think men value. We definitely are, creatures of habit. So being able to just throw on that jacket that you've had for the last 5, 10 years, and it's still gonna wear like new. I think that's definitely a big con, or not big con, a big pro when it comes to work jackets. Another point about work jackets is these jackets are made with a purpose, right? So they're very, like I said, a second ago, they're very durable. Uh, they're made with the working man in mind, right? A guy who's gonna beat this thing up. They're gonna, it's gonna get dirty. It's gonna get oil on it. It's gonna get brushed up against, walls. It's gonna, have to endure, all that, which is, I think, a big pro again for work jackets. And I think that's another reason why us as men we like work jackets so much, is because again, it's another constant in your life, or it's something you don't have to worry about. Right? I know for me personally, I'm a guy I don't want to have to stress or worry about, you know, if my jacket's gonna be tearing and ripping on me in a year or two. So I definitely think that a work jacket definitely is it's definitely a great uh it's definitely a great item to have in your wardrobe. Now there are all different types of work jackets. You have you have like your jean jackets or your denim jackets. You typically would see cowboys or ranchers, farmers maybe even wearing these sorts of jackets. I like denim. I just recently got into denim jackets. Never really you know I never really experimented with them early at all earlier on in fashion or anything like that. It just wasn't really my thing. I wasn't really a big denim guy. I didn't really wear jeans too much either. It wasn't for me. But recently in the last year, I got me a couple and been loving them so far. They're great. I have this vintage Ralph Lauren, um, denim jacket. It's cropped. It has a nice wool lining to it with a tan corduroy collar. Great jacket. I've worn it on several occasions. It's very warm jacket. You'll put that thing on when it's 50 degrees outside and start sweating. It's a crop jacket. It's a little bit more, I guess, fashion forward, if you will. Uh, but no, yeah, it's a great jacket. I love it. The only thing I don't like about it though is that it doesn't have any pockets. Like it has the two, breast pockets, but other than that, though, you can't. There's no side pockets, so that's the only thing that kind of gets me about it. But besides that, I love it. I've only had it for, I'd say, like a month or two. Uh, but yeah, no, it's great. Great. You could throw that jacket on with about any outfit, wear it every day if you really wanted to. But yeah, no, that jacket right there is definitely one that I do enjoy on occasion. Another favorite workwear jacket of mine that I have is Carhartt Detroit jacket from their work in progress brand or line, I guess. So most people, I guess diehard Carhartt guys wouldn't consider it an actual work jacket, but I do. Uh, I've had that jacket for well over 4 years. It's got a good little bit of wear and tear on it. Nothing crazy. I did work construction with it for a little bit. Nothing crazy. It might have been a couple months, right? But no, yeah, I've worn that jacket everywhere. It's taken a beating a little bit. Starting to get some nice good patina and wear and tear on it. So that's definitely a thing that I do love and enjoy about this jacket. It still wears brand new. The day I got it, 4-ish years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. I This jacket I definitely do love, and I think men also love just Carhartt jackets in general because it kind of goes back to again the entire thing of what I've been saying about um, just having that one constant in life. It's a jacket that's not going to fail you. It's a jacket that is recognizable. People know it. People love it. Uh, I mean, overall, it's just great. It's got a cropped fit to it, right? So again, kind of a little bit more fashion forward. Uh, it does it have a wool lining? It does have a wool lining. Yeah, it has a wool lining. It's great. Corduroy collar, just like the Ralph Lauren jacket. I think this is a great jacket for any man who wants to just have just not necessarily step up your wardrobe, but just to have. It's a great jacket. Keep you warm, all that good stuff. Sticking with the theme of denim, I have this. I don't know if it's vintage or not. I think it is. I bought it at a vintage clothing store, so I'm just gonna assume that it is. But I have this. I guess vintage Levi's Sherpa denim jacket. It's actually not mine. It's my mom's that I bought for her, but she doesn't really wear it, so I steal it from her every now and then. But this jacket, no, it's a great jacket. It's hard for me to wear it because I live in Texas, so it's only cold for like 2 weeks out of the year here, right? But no, that jacket it's a beautiful jacket. Again, it's another jacket that has a crop fit to it. It I mean, it just has like that classic, just kind of cowboy look to it. You know what I mean? It's got a nice white, Sherpa lining inside of it. It just kind of encapsulates cool, in my opinion. It really does. I mean, you got the denim, you got the Sherpa, you got all that, in the above. It's the jacket again, kind of like the Detroit jacket. You can wear it with anything, almost. It definitely is in my opinion, if I had to give, rank it 1 through 10, or on a scale of 1 through 10, I'd give it a good solid 8, man. I mean, this jacket is one of the better jackets I think you can get. All right, now, so moving on to casual jackets. Now, this is a category that I think most guys will kind of appreciate, as the world nowadays is a little bit more casual. People aren't really dressing up as formally or, what have you anymore. So I definitely think a good casual jacket is definitely a staple that I think you need to have in your wardrobe. It I think they're definitely a little bit more stylish, right? You have a little bit more play with them. Uh, these can include fleece jackets or racing jackets. You know some Sherpas as well. I think it's a good medium for most guys, right? Most guys aren't out in the field working every day. For the most part, most guys aren't wearing tuxedos. They need to wear a trench coat, right? It's one of those things that I think it's a solid. Really, bro? Really? I definitely think it's one of those. It's a category of jacket that is um, just made for really every guy out there, right? Some of my favorite casual jackets are. I have this Ralph Lauren uh, jacket. I call it a pawpaw jacket because it reminds me of just like grandpa wearing some all brown like Lucchese's with some nice jeans, and then that jacket. I know for a fact my grandfather definitely had a jacket similar to this growing up, so it's kind of an old man looking jacket, but I mean it honestly it's almost perfect in my opinion. Kind of like what I said about the the Carhartt, but it's a nice thin jacket. It doesn't have any actual lining in it. Um, Nice tan color. Just overall, it's great. Another again short kind of crop jacket almost, if you will. Um, this jacket I think is definitely a jacket you could if you're an office worker type of guy, you're in a you're not really in a labor intensive environment. This is definitely a good one, or just going out to the bar or something. You know what I mean? I've worn this out numerous occasions. It's not a thick jacket at all. I really only would wear this in the spring or the fall. It's not gonna keep you warm at all. But just overall, if you just want something light that looks good, I think that jacket right there is definitely in the front running in my opinion. Another cool casual jacket that I like, or I guess kind of category of casual jackets that I like, are racing jackets. Now I only have one of these. I have a Dale Earnhardt NASCAR jacket, which is, in my opinion, it's insanely cool, right? And there's no, I mean, it really doesn't get better than a racing jacket, right? I mean, you see all the race car drivers, way back in the day with their jackets, walking around, pit lane, right, doing, media interviews and all that. It's definitely a cool guy jacket, if you will. It sounds corny, but I mean, it really is. It's one of those. I don't know. I think it's one of those staples that not everyone can pull it off. Hell, I don't really think I can, but for the most part, I mean, it's definitely a street, fashionable jacket that if you want something that you can wear most days, depending on what I guess manufacturer or brand that you get in terms of the jacket, it's definitely one of those ones that I would recommend that you have in the wardrobe. All right, now so some other cool casual jackets that I have and that I like are is this corduroy fleece Levi's jacket. Now you could consider this a work jacket. I wouldn't, and mainly just because I don't really, for whatever reason, I just don't see corduroy as typically like a workwear jacket. So I would consider this more casual. But this is a type of jacket that you definitely would layer up with in the winter. I would definitely, or I have done that. I would definitely recommend this for guys that live kind of up north or in more colder areas where you need a thicker daily jacket, if you will. I think this kind of jacket definitely, uh, this probably suits a guy who is outside a decent bit, right? It's a very warm jacket. It's very just it's an overall. I mean, I really don't know how to describe it. It's just an overall just really nice jacket. I think this is definitely part of in terms of when you talk about cool, this is definitely for it's for a guy that probably rides a vintage Harley, or maybe not a vintage Harley, but just some type of vintage motorcycle. Um, he likes to, probably drives like rides a cafe racer or something like that. Drives like a Porsche 944. You know what I mean? Likes to go to coffee shops, things like that. This is definitely a again. I wouldn't say this is a jacket that every man has to have, but it's definitely for it's definitely something that it's nice to have. You know what I mean? Um, this jacket it definitely kind of, in my opinion, encapsulates not necessarily what it means to be cool, but it has just that essence of hey, I'm here, I got this. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those types of pieces, in my opinion. Another quick one too is a fleece jacket, a good fleece jacket. I do think in a sense, fleece jackets, I wouldn't say they're necessarily the epitome of like cool jackets, but definitely if you can find the right one, you can make it work. I definitely think it's a good, solid piece to have. All right, now so moving on with formal jackets. Now, for this category, formal jackets is a kind of a broad term. You have blazers and sport jackets and all that. For me, formal jacket would be a trench coat. I personally just find trench coats to be a lot more business oriented and more just dressier in general. So that's why I kind of would throw it in a formal category. Um, for me, a trench jacket is very it's a bold choice of jacket, right? It this is for your, your hot shots, your ballers, if you will, almost, right? Um, a trench jacket is, a guy who, he works on Wall Street, right? He drives a, Ferrari Testarossa or something like that. It's like I said, it's a bold choice because people don't really wear them nowadays because we don't really have a use for them now with, transportation being so what's the word I'm looking for? It's so easily accessible with, cars and all that, and public transportation. There's really no need to wear a trench jacket or trench coat anymore. But I mean, it's a trench coat, man. It's like in my opinion, it's the epitome of cool, right? I mean, you see, Ryan Gosling and Blade Runner wearing one, right? Even soldiers in World War II and all that were wearing trench coats. It's definitely it's a dope piece to have. Again, I wouldn't. This is definitely not for everyone at all. These jackets are very big and bulky and don't really serve that much of a purpose in modern day use. Um, but I definitely think it's a nice piece to have. I have three of them. Actually, the one that I'm wearing today, this vintage Ralph Lauren wool coat, is probably my favorite coat yet. I haven't been able to wear it out much, mainly just because I need to take it to the dry cleaners and get it clean because it smells like an old man's house who probably smoked in there. But I'm only wearing it today just because I'm not going anywhere and it is what it is. But yeah, I guess we can start with this one though, since we're already talking about it. This Ralph Lauren, I guess it's kind of olive drab green color. It This is a long wool coat with a nice wool lining in it. Um, this coat is like I said, it's definitely my favorite by far. This is one of those coats that if you live, I could imagine living in New York or something like that or Chicago, walking the streets of the downtown city. This is definitely a coat for that in my opinion. This is I don't know. It's just a beautiful coat. I love it. I think most people that have seen me wear it, they like it. It's a great coat. A couple of other ones too. I have this Coach um, trench coat that I got not too long ago, like 6 months ago ish, or nah, or last winter. I guess I've had it for about a year, I think. Um, this is also a nice solid coat. I like this one particularly for wearing it in the rain because where I live up in North Texas, it rains a lot. So having a nice, good rain, coat is definitely a must up here because it rains like most days out of the year. It doesn't have any wool lining. It's just, I think it's just polyester or whatever. It's not. This jacket isn't one that's gonna really keep you warm when it's extremely cold out, but you can definitely layer with this jacket, put a nice little sweater on underneath it, right? A nice little polo cable knit or something like that. Um, no, but yeah, that jacket is definitely on the top of my list of if you're someone who wants to get into trench coats, get something like that. Something that's not too bold and too out there. It's definitely gonna look great with pretty much whatever you wear. Dress it up, dress it down. Wear it with hoodie and jeans and sneakers, or wear it with a suit if you really wanted to. Um, I also have this other light blue, or I guess powder blue, trench coat by LaFleur, Tyler the Creator. He's a rapper, and that's his clothing brand, a little bit more luxury oriented. This is probably the coolest trench coat that I have. It kind of similar to the Coach trench coat. It kind of I think it's polyester lining, but the lining in it is very cool. It's this leopard print. It's on the inside of it. This is another jacket that I would wear out in the rain, um, mainly because it's not one that I think would really keep you warm either. You could wear this, in the spring or the fall time, right, where it's a little chilly out, but nothing crazy, right? You don't really need to be super warm. Um, but yeah, no, trench coats in general, I think, again, when we talk about cool jackets, I mean, it really is like the epitome of just. I keep saying that for all these jackets because I mean they really are all the epitome of cool in my opinion. But trench coats, for me personally, I think it's really just like that. It's just like for me, it's just a baller type jacket, right, or coat, if you will. Um, it's just I don't know. It's a damn cool thing to have. Again, it's not. This is not for everyone. These jackets are they're big, they're heavy, they're very cumbersome. You're not wearing this on a daily basis in most places, most situations. But if you have the confidence and the wherewithal to wear one, I definitely think having a trench coat is, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's important to have one, but it's definitely it's a nice touch to have, right? um, Trench coats to me are very, in a weird way, very bold, even though they're not necessarily like, the brightest or the flashiest things, right? But I definitely do think that with a trench coat, you're making a statement when you leave the house, because again, you're probably, you go out in public, you're probably going to be the only guy out there wearing it, which to me, in and of itself, is cool, because you kind of have the balls to go out and be like, yeah, no, I'm gonna wear this long ass coat for no reason, even though I really don't need it, right? Again, like, especially me being here in Texas, like, we there might be a couple days out of the year where I can really get some good wear out of a trench coat, but it's definitely it's definitely a statement piece, especially like that light blue one that you guys have seen. It's definitely a statement piece. Definitely one for more bold guy, one for more dressier formal guy, right? Yeah, no, I think trench coats are definitely like up there in terms of, scale of just overall cool factor, right? So, but anyway though, y'all, that's gonna wrap up today's video. I hope you did enjoy it. Like I said, man, or kind of like what I've been saying, jackets are definitely a obsession of men, if you will. I'm kind of butchering this whole last part of the video because I didn't really think this far ahead, but it's jackets are, they mean different things for different people. The way I wear a jacket is going to be different than the way you wear it, right? um, the types of jackets that people wear are going to be completely different. It's definitely I think it's an important piece to think about as a man. We don't really, I guess as men, we don't really put too much thought into, what we wear nowadays. So I definitely think putting a decent bit of thought into a nice coat is definitely an important thing to do, right? And you don't need to have 15 different jackets like I got. You really just need you one or two good ones, and you'll be set for life, right? So it's definitely something to think about. Definitely something to I would put good money into, right? Not saying that you'd go out and spend $800 on a jacket, but definitely I would put good money into it, and just have fun with it, man. I mean, you don't have to take it, super serious. It doesn't need to be, a life-changing decision, but it's definitely something that I would, consider putting a decent amount of time into thinking about, because, you want to have a jacket that's, going to last you throughout the years, and that you could potentially even pass down or give away to a friend, or, something like that, or another family member, right? So that's definitely something that I would take into consideration when you're looking to get you a nice coat. But anyway, that's gonna be me for today, y'all. Hope y'all did enjoy this video. Stay tuned for more. Like, subscribe if you want to. I don't give a damn. But like I said, yeah, there's gonna be more videos coming out here soon on the GNS channel. So stay tuned. I'll see y'all later.